And we have Marlin Jackson here in studio, live inside the Suburban Chevrolet Make the Choice studios. So, Marlin, I want to talk to you a little bit about the Michael Sam story before we get into getting some thoughts on you about Michigan, thoughts from you about Michigan. So Michael Sam comes out publicly. He had already come out to his team.
Which was smart. I think just on his behalf about this whole process was smart.
Yeah, and so I'm curious, I'm glad to get your take on that because I kind of felt that way as well. It was a bit of a preemptive strike. He felt like when he went down to the Senior Bowl that this is something people were already talking about. It seems like it's out there, so he kind of got in front of it, and then it kind of in a way puts the pressure on the NFL teams to be like, look, we're going to give you a fair shake.
And, yeah, they have no choice now, I feel. No team in the league can deny him an opportunity of being in the NFL and use the excuse of this will be a distraction. He came out to his teammates at Missouri. They accepted him. So there's no reason why an NFL locker room cannot accept him. The fact that he has been ahead of the game as far as putting this out there now, and then even more so at the University of Missouri, it took away all excuses. There is no excuse to the lock. We can say, well, is the NFL ready for it? Is the locker room? Yes, the locker room in Missouri was ready for it. So what's different? Mm-hmm. There is no different. There's scrutiny on every level, collegiate sports, professional sports, and it went over well with his teammates. There, I'm sure it was an adjustment, obviously, but from what I was hearing on TV, guys, the rumors were out there, the things were swirling, and he really just came and put it all to bed for his teammates, and it seemed like a lot of those guys were happy for him. Mm-hmm. As far as they could tell how much of a burden it was for him to carry this secret with him, and they said as he released it, they could really see that it was just a weight being lifted from his shoulders. And I just really feel that there's no excuse, there's no reasoning for anyone, to come up with an excuse as to why his stock should fall, why he shouldn't be drafted, why he will be a distraction in the locker room.
Do you feel like, looking back on this past year, the Richie Incognito kind of Miami locker room deal, do you think that kind of advanced the locker room atmosphere to a point where it's more ready, or do you think independent of that, the NFL locker rooms would have been ready for Michael Sam?
It's one of those things. I think you don't know if it's ready until it happens, until you get there. It's no time. I think if it didn't happen now, people will just continue to say, well, the NFL is not ready for it. The NFL locker room is not ready for it. It will always be an excuse until it happens. And I feel everyone should have had a sense that it was just a matter of time after I think it was Jason Collins, the basketball player, after he came out. It just was a matter of time before there was an NFL guy that came out and said it, and made it public, and that's what has happened now. When we can't say anymore. The NFL is not ready for it. The locker room is not ready for it because it's here. You have no choice but to accept it. And I think with anything, there will be a grace period of filling things out for him, for his teammates. But I think the more that they're around each other, the more that they actually play football together, the more they sit in meetings together, they won't even think about it.
Gotcha. Good stuff from Marlin Jackson. So let's talk a little bit about Michigan. One of the first questions I have for you is, you were a big-time All-American. Akin to, did they have, was it 4 stars or 5 stars at the time?
It was 5.
They went all the way to 5 stars?
We didn't have all the extra, though, the TV and these combines and all this stuff.
You played an All-Star game, didn't you?
I played, that's how I feel old now. I played in the first All-American All-American game. It was the first U.S. Army game, but it wasn't called the U.S. Army game yet. So it was the very first year, but it looked nothing like what it does now. The red carpet was not rolled out. So it's crazy now. I mean, these kids are, man, wow. It's crazy nowadays in recruiting.
But you came in with a lot of fanfare. Terrell Austin recruited you out of Sherman, Pennsylvania. Remember, it was a big deal, regarded by many as the top cornerback in the country. Well, Michigan, once again, is looking at having the top cornerback in the country coming in Jabrill Peppers. I'm curious what you think of Jabrill as a prospect. I'm sure you've seen his film, And, what it was like for you. You come in with all of those expectations, a lot of praise and accolades before you ever set foot on the football field. How daunting was that for you? And what was your mentality? Because you're talking about a kid. I don't know that I've ever seen a kid this confident. I mean,
he probably was. I think the difference between me and Jabrill, I think we both were very confident, but I probably didn't voice it and didn't let it hang out. And I think that's just how I always was. I let my play and my actions speak more than my mouth. But he backs his up. I'll give him that. He's he can be flamboyant. He is confident. But it doesn't rub me the wrong way, the way that he goes about it, because I think it's genuine. I think it's the passion that he has. I think it's his motivation that he has, not only for football but for life. I look at him as just a young man that not only wants to succeed on the football field, but he wants to succeed in life. And it seems as if he challenged himself not only on the football field but in life as well. So from that standpoint, I mean, he's confident, very, very, very athletic, has all the physical tools, and it seems as if he has the mental capacity as well to come in and do good things, which for me that makes it even more exciting, because how many guys do we see that are 4 stars, 5 stars, and they have all these great physical skills, but they do not have it upstairs. They do not have it in their heart. And he seems to have the heart and the mind to match the body.
Right. And so, as we were sitting talking earlier in the show, that question kind of dawned on me, because listening to your story, there are so many parallels. Of course, he's a 5-star All-American guy like you, but like you, he had a brother that kind of went the wrong way, further the wrong way than your brother. His brother was actually killed. His dad was in and out of prison. His dad is back in his life now, but he used those experiences to kind of fuel him, kind of motivate him to do what he's doing now.
Yes, and I can see it within him, man. I mean, just watching him on tape, and then I watched one of his interviews at the Under Armour All-American game, and I just like, wow, I was like, man, he's mature. Like, he's further ahead than I was, as far as being able to express himself in a positive way and articulate how he's feeling, and and coming across in a genuine way. And it's exciting to see, just because I feel like that can be a special individual, not only on the football field but in life. And he's talented, outside of the football field with his music, and just he has a lot of ability, and I don't just look at him for the football player he is. I look at him and just he has possibilities in life to do great things, and it's all expectation, because he still has to come in here, improve himself in the classroom, prove himself on the football field, so there's still ways to go, but I think he excites you when you watch him, when you hear him speak, and see the potential that lies within him.
All right, we're talking to Marlin Jackson here on the Michigan Insider on Sports Talk 1050 WTKA, online at WTK.com. Now, he has to come in and earn a spot. Nothing's going to be given to him, much like it was the case with you. And you're going to have some guys here that are fighting to keep their spots, whether it be the starters like Blake Countess and Ray Taylor, but then you got some of the young upstarts like Channing Stribling, who got some time in there last year. You got some other young corners that are, Brandon Watson came in early. You got some guys there on the back end that are going to try to make their way. So just give me your take on the defense last year. What maybe you saw and what maybe you think might be better this year.
Well, it seemed we were inconsistent. You like to see a steady incline from your team throughout the season, and it seemed like we kind of topped off pretty early, and it didn't go back up. And that's always disappointing, because the mark of a good team, the mark of a good program is consistency, and like I said, that steady incline of getting better and improving, where you can see that your players are receptive to the coaching, and that they are taking it in, they are analyzing it, and they are putting it into play on the football field. And we didn't see that last year. And for me personally, that was one of the most disheartening things. Was what seemed to be a bit of a disconnect between the message that was being presented, given to the players, and then them going out and executing it. Because the coaches are going to do their job, just from my experiences. But it's up to the players to absorb it, to work, and then go out there and to put your study habits, your film work to put your classroom work as far as in your book, in your notes, to put those things into focus on the field. And that did not come all the way through last year. And I think that's just a bit more attention to detail in this off season from the back end. I want to see some more consistency and ability to be more instinctive. Only player I feel like I saw instinctive plays out of was Blake Cowdens, and Blake was still a bit inconsistent, but you saw flashes of a guy who has football instincts, who may be watching film, who may understand, formations and route recognition and down and distance, and is able to jump routes and do other things. And you want to see that out of everybody. We want to see better tackling on the back end. We want to see more physical play consistently. Is the number one thing. And I think that was at every position as far as the consistency goes. I don't think you can say there was one position where a guy was just totally killing it all season and was just totally, besides Jeremy Gallon, I would say. I take that back. As I'm talking here, I said Jeremy Gallon was consistent last year. He put in work each and every week. But outside of that, consistency is the number one thing. And I think if you ask any former player, any coach on the collegiate level, high school, professional, the number one name of the game is consistency. And if you're in the NFL and if you are not consistent, you will not be in the NFL for long. If you cannot, consistently show that I can come out here and do my job at a high level, I can take the classroom to the field. Those are things that you need to do as a football player. You need to take the classroom, the study habits, and then apply those things on the field. When you do that, you make plays and you win.
Well, certainly being able to take the message, as you said, very, very well and execute it on the football field. That goes to both sides, players and coaches. That goes to both sides. That's why there's no blame on one end. I think it's a little bit can lie on both shoulders, and now have to come together to get this thing right, because I think we all can agree that we hate to see our two rivals playing in the Big Ten championship, and then the ultimate rivals going on to the Rose Bowl and winning. That's very disappointing, and we need to be there, and it's going to be even more difficult now that I think we are all in the same division, right. Which I don't understand how that even how that even happened. How do you have all three of these teams, top teams in the conference, in the same division? Right, and Penn State's not going to be down forever, and they're in that division too. So
Penn State's in it. Oh wow,
Penn State's in there too.
They have to. They need a do-over on that one. That's not right.
Well, it certainly will help the improvement when you have players that have been more mature, or if you happen to have a Marlin Jackson or a Jabrill Peppers now, or maybe a Richard Sherman. And this is my last question for you. Your take on Richard Sherman is 60 seconds. Is he the best corner in the game?
Oh, by far. Yes, he is. He is the best corner in the National Football League. The mix of size, range, instincts, speed, smarts. He has it all. Well, we know he's not lacking confidence. He will tell you, I'm the best corner in the game. He'll let you know real fast. But that was all. That 10-minute cool down period is we saw it's needed. But when you're caught up in battle like that on that level, man, it gets intense. It gets heated out there, and you have to have that kind of confidence within you. But everybody is not going to voice it. I'm not a guy who would have voiced it and come out and said it like that. But you better believe that Peyton Manning feels that way inside. You better believe that Tom Brady feels that way inside. They just won't come out and say it that way.
Gotcha. Well, before we let you go, Marlin, one more time, tell people about your organization, the event, the Go Blue Bowl that you have coming up on April the 4th.
Well, we would love for, people here in the Ann Arbor area to come out and support the Go Blue Bowl. You can find all necessary information about Fight for Life Foundation, my organization, all the other organizations that are involved, about the players that will be involved, about the sponsorship levels, about the visibility, the entertainment value of all these things at gobluebowl.org.